Buenos dias, buenos tardes mga amigos, mga amigas, sa aking mga subscribers and followers sa YouTube channel. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Attorney Rene Bueno. Ngayon po ay muli nating tatalakayin ang tungkol sa cyber libels sapagkat meron po tayong isang subscriber kasi na nag-request, nagkaroon ng kahilingan na muli nating pag-usapan to. Sapagkat nakapanood daw siya ng isang vlog, no, na ang author ay vlogger lawyer na kung saan ay PCO was branded as a fake news factory. So to validate, sinilip ko yung YouTube channel at pinakinggan ko yung mga importanteng parte at narinig ko nga na PCO was branded as a fake news factory at ang undersecretary ay naaakusahan na nagpapakalat ng fake news ng mga false information. So, if a blogger is issuing a statement that the PCO is a fake news factory, this could potentially constitute cyber libel. So, depende yan sa specific circumstances at sa interpretation of the law. So, under the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, otherwise known as Republic Act 10175, yung cyber libel essentially applies also the provisions of the revised penal code, yung traditional libel. At kung ikaw ay similarly situated, isa kang public official also, at tinitira ka ng isang vlogger, no, palagi, no, consistent, regular, banat ng banat sa'yo, ay kailangan mong mapatunayan na present yung four essential elements of the crime. Unang-una dito, dapat magkaroon ng defamatory imputation. So, ibig sabihin nito, there must be an imputation of crime, vice, or defect, or there must be any act, omission, condition, status, or circumstance that tends to cause dishonor, discredit, or contempt of a natural or juridical person. So in this case, labeling PCO as a fake news factory could be argued as discreditable imputation that causes damage to the reputation of the person and the office where she is working. So, ganun po yan. At yung pangalawang elemento ay yung there must be a publication. So, walang question dito. Napanood ko, napakinggan ko, na-publish sa social media platform yung defamatory statement. At yung pangatlo, there must be an identity of the person defamed. Identifiable yung tao. So, wala ding question dito dahil binanggit naman talaga na PCO tsaka si Attorney Claire Castro ay napapakalat ng fake news at in fact, isa siyang fake news factory. So, yung pang-apat at pinaka-crucial element of the crime ay yung malice. So, pagdating sa malice, dalawang klase yan. Isang malice in law at yung actual malice. So, doon tayo sa actual malice application sapagkat ang sangkot dito ay isang public official at public office. So, pag sinabi mo kasing actual malice, yung offender, alam na alam naman niya na walang katotohanan yung sinasabi niya, pero tuloy pa din siya, no, sa pagsasabi ng mga statement na walang legal na basihan at walang katotohanan, or there was a complete disregard of its truth. So, yun po yung actual malice. Pero sabi kasi ng Supreme Court, pag government official, hindi ka dapat balat sibuyas dahil ikaw ay open widely to criticism and attacks, no? Talagang ganyan, ang government official, palaging napupuna, palaging nakikriticize. Pero ayon naman po sa ating saligang batas kasi, although meron tayong freedom of expression, freedom of speech, no, ay yung right na yan ay hindi po absolute. This is not an absolute right according to the Constitution because it has limitations also. Hindi naman pwedeng mula ulo hanggang paa, personal na yung mga binabanat sa'yo ay hindi ka pa pwedeng magreklamo. So, may limitasyon yan. It is not an absolute right. There is a limitation. At pag lumagpas ka doon sa linya, sa boundary, then you may be held liable for libel. So, kasi ganito yan. Alam nyo, if the vlogger is regularly, consistently attacking the PCO and its undersecretary, si Attorney Claire Castro, as a fake news factory, when the PCO is simply relaying the president's activities, the likelihood of such a statement constituting cyber libel is increasing. Lumalakas lalo na talagang may cyber libel dito. So kasi yung regular and consistent attacks could be used as evidence of a pattern of intent to discredit rather than isolated good faith criticisms. So yung actual malice dito would become more central. Although yung mga public officials na yan, open yan sa very wide criticism. No, sabi ko nga kanina, hindi naman absolute yung karapatan na yan. Porket public office yan, kahit ano na lang, araw-arawin mo, tinitira mo ng, na nagpapakalat ng fake news. Ibang usapan na yon, no? At malalagay ka na doon sa exception to the rule na hindi absolute ang right pagdating sa freedom of expressions provided for under the 1987 Constitution. Okay, so lalong-lalo na consistent ka, tapos it can be demonstrated na ikaw ay alam mo naman na walang katotohanan yung pinagsasasabi mo, or meron kang reckless disregard for their truth. It only strengthens yung cyber libel case. So, madadali dito yung vlogger. So, mahalata ka na ang intention mo talaga is to discredit, no, to destroy the reputation of a person. So, hindi dapat ganon. No? Dapat, kung babanat ka, dapat ay constructive yung criticism. At wala pang halong sinasabi na nakita ko doon sa bandang huli na huwag pagtiwalaan, delikado ka dito, sa undersecretary mo na to, mag-ingat ka dito. Something like that, no? To that effect. So, medyo may halong paninira na yung ginagawa at personal na yon. At sa aking palagay po, pwedeng magsampa ng complaint ang opisyal ng gobyerno, lalong-lalo na in the person of Attorney Claire Castro. So, malinaw na nagkakaroon kasi ng damage to the reputation and the credibility of the undersecretary. Kasi ikaw yung in charge dun sa pagpapalabas ng mga activities of the president, and there is somebody trying to attack, no, your credibility. Ang Office of the President, yung Presidential Communications Office na yun, source yan ng mga credible information dapat, no? Ng mga pawang katotohanan lang dapat ang sinasabi niyan. Kung may isang taong nagiging consistent, regular, inaatake ang kredibilidad doon nag-i-issue ng information regarding the activities of the President, mahirap yun. That might constitute cyber libel na. Diba? Sabi ko nga kanina. So, although ang required dyan is actual malice, pero pag ganyan, na sunod-sunod, regular, consistent ka, pwedeng gamiting ebidensya yun sa'yo. Nagkakaroon na kasi ng pattern of intent, no, to discredit, no, a person and damage her reputation. Madadali ka dyan pag ganyan, no? Okay, lalong-lalo na kung wala namang basis yung mga yung mga statement, no? At paputol-putol, pakat-kat yung iyong mga video or evidence na pinakikita, hindi mo tinutuloy. Dapat pag nagpakita ka ng video as the basis of your attack against a public office or a person, tuloy-tuloy mo yung video para makuha talaga yung kabuuan ng statement or ng facts, no? Hindi yung puputulin mo to make it appear na talagang false yung information. Mali yun, no? Kasi sa husgado hindi naman ganyan eh, alam mo naman yan eh, no? Na dapat complete, no, accurate, precise information ang ipipresenta mo sa husgado. So hanggang dito na lamang po at medyo inabot na tayo ng madaling araw dito. Na ano lang, pinagbigyan ko lang yung isang vlogger natin, no? Ay, isang vlogger, sorry, isang subscriber natin na ating muling talakayin itong kaso ng cyber libel. In particular, citing the case of one blogger lawyer na continuously, consistently, regularly attacking the Presidential Communications Office. So, nandito na lang po. Ito pong muli ang inyong lingkod, Attorney Rene Bueno.